Hi guys, it's me Jem and welcome to episode 8 of Gem at the Movies, a segment here on my YouTube channel where I take a look at some movies and TV series, either recent or old but gold. And today we're going to look at another very interesting action and fantasy movie. The movie we're going to review today is Suckerpunch. So, Suckerpunch, from the title itself, I believe there are two reasons behind the film's title. Number one is it is a literal sucker punch for the eyes. There are moments in the movie that will make you go, what the hell was that? And number two, Sucker Punch, meaning nobody saw it coming. From the film's plot, nobody saw Baby Doll coming as she was concocting her plan of escape. This movie came out in 2011 and it's directed by Zack Snyder. Now, Zack Snyder, of course, we know from films like 300, Justice League, and Batman vs. Superman. Of course, we would know a Zack Snyder film when we see one. He has a very distinct style of color grading, very dark, very contrasty, sometimes using neutral and very dull colors. He really makes his movies look like comic books come to life. What this movie lacks in story, it definitely makes up for with stunning visuals and special effects, and a great soundtrack. Now, let's talk about that soundtrack. The main theme of the movie is sung by Icelandic superstar Björk. It is called Army of Me, and of course, we know that Björk has a very unique style of singing. What I like about Army of Me is that infectious kind of synth bass riff, which goes really well with Baby Doll's hypnotic dancing. Other songs on the soundtrack feature bands like Queen, The Beatles, Led Zeppelin, and Jefferson Airplane. And of course, some of the songs sung by the lead actress Emily Browning, like remakes of Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics. The cast is led by a lineup of very beautiful women. Of course, playing the lead character, Baby Doll, is Australian actress Emily Browning, along with Jamie Chung, Vanessa Hudgens, Jenna Malone, and Abby Cornish. And a supporting cast in Carlo Gugino, who plays the girl's dancing choreographer or mentor, who is also the resident psychiatrist, and Scott Glenn, who plays the old man who gives the girls missions, and Oscar Isaac as Blue Jones, the owner of the asylum. Oscar Isaac, of course, we know from movies like Star Wars and Xmen Apocalypse. And honestly, when I first saw this movie, I didn't even notice Oscar Isaac. It was only when I watched Star Wars The Force Awakens, and then I went back to watching Sucker Punch, and then I noticed, hey, that is Oscar Isaac. I know that's kind of silly. Oscar Isaac plays a great villain as much as he does playing the hero. He did get a lot of flack for playing Apocalypse in X-Men, but I kind of liked him as Apocalypse. I thought he did pretty well in that movie. So, in this movie, he plays Blue Jones, the evil and sadistic owner of the Lennox House Mental Institution. Now, let's talk about the cinematography and special effects of this movie. Like I said, it is a literal sucker punch for the eyes. So, one thing I noticed about the scenes in the asylum is the use of teal-orange color grading in the scenes. The color grading of this movie in general is kind of dull. neutral, and it evokes like sadness or depression, and rightfully so because the movie is set in a mental institution. The idea of the movie is Baby Doll needs four essential items so that she can escape from the asylum. Now, each time that she's going after an item, she starts dancing. She gets transported to an imaginary world where she is a warrior, as well as the other girls. And that's what makes this movie unique and exciting because Baby Doll is fighting giant samurai, dragons, steaming Nazis, robots, and just a random mix of things that will make you go, what the hell is happening here? She's fighting all these guys just to get these simple items because that's how she imagines it in her head. Now, let's talk about the costumes of Sucker Punch. Although Sucker Punch did not do really well in the box office, it became a sort of a pop culture of this decade, and the reason partly is because of the costumes, particularly those worn by the girls. Baby Doll's outfit, obviously inspired by a sailor. You can call her a sailor samurai. Amber and Blondie, supposed to be the pilots of the group. Amber wears a pilot's jumpsuit, slightly sexified, while Blondie wears aviator goggles on her head. And Sweet Pea is like sort of BDSM with the hoodie. And Rocket obviously draws inspiration from a nurse. Like she's got a nurse cap on her head. So she's probably like a warrior nurse or a soldier nurse or something like that. Actually, my first impression of these girls when I first saw them was I was thinking an all female G.I. Joe. The costume designer for Sucker Punch is Michael Wilkinson, who also designed or co designed costumes for Tron Legacy. The costume style for Sucker Punch could be described as steampunk with a bit of female fetish. So, about the concept of Sucker Punch, if I could describe this movie, it would be a really badass Barbie and G.I. Joe crossover. Some people found this concept really confusing to understand because there's Baby Doll and she's doing her sexy dance. She and the girls get transported to another world and they're fighting bad guys. So, for a first timer watching this movie, it might seem like somewhere between WoW and WTF. So, favorite scenes from the movie. First, of course, Baby Doll's first fantasy, which was the giant samurai, and the Amber scenes. Amber in her giant mecha, and the B-25 versus the Dragon Chase, which is, of course, also piloted by Amber. Worst part of the movie, three of the girls die, and only one of them escapes, and it's not Baby Doll. So, favorite character besides Baby Doll, it would have to be Amber, because I love Jamie Chung, and she is the badass pilot of the group. So, final verdict on this movie. If you're looking for a movie with a good story, this is not that movie. But if you're into action with a bit of fantasy and you like really nice special effects plus beautiful badass women, then this is your movie. So I would rate Sucker Punch at a 7 out of 10. It's a very, very good popcorn movie. Definitely include this one in your quarantine movie marathon. Highly recommended for action and special effects. Okay, so that is it for my movie review for today. If you like this video, please consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!